Okay, so last week was kind of sort of big, but not really. I got my driver's license, which is great because whatever the people at the DMV are awful, but I finally got my driver's license and whatever. Of course, I'm not going to be able to keep it unless I can get a job to pay for the insurance because no one else in the family can really afford to pay for a first-year driver, but it's a start. So I'm going to do the best I can to try to find some kind of work so I can keep my basic American human right necessity things that I have to do to have a job. Speaking of jobs, I went to my job interview on Thursday. I'd originally scheduled it for Tuesday, but then my mother got very sick and had to go to the doctor instead. So she went and I rescheduled for Thursday. On Thursday, I had to coordinate with my older brother who was going to the dentist in Raleigh, and I was like 10 or 15 minutes late because of just the dentist went over. And it happens. But it didn't matter because they had a huge backlog. When I was contacted for the job, they said they were looking for a branch manager for an office they were planning to open up soon, and they didn't make it sound like the job that it was, which was why I bothered to interview. So I went in for the interview, and I was talking to the people, and they asked if I had any leadership experience, and I shared my judging experience because I did have some leadership opportunities. And we got to talking about the job itself. And the more we talked about the job, the more convinced I became that it was not really the job that they made it out to be. For starters, the branch manager position, which I was supposedly being interviewed for, involved driving out to talk to people to help sell them insurance information. And that's not what I was told the job was about. So they may have interviewed me wrong because they had a crap load of people there. They may have just, I don't know what. It looked like they had just contacted every person they possibly could have to fill these positions. So, and then when they said it's going to cost a $300 registration fee that you have to pay to the state in order for you to be able to do the job where you're supposed to drive around in your own car burning your own gas to sell insurance to someone else, I said no. My personal opinion is that if I'm taking on the risk of a business venture, then I'd better be making a crapload of the profit, or it doesn't make any sense to take the job. I'm not going to take on a minimum wage job that has risk. I don't need a job where I could lose money. So that didn't go very well. But I didn't really expect to get that job, and I certainly didn't expect to take it unless it was actually the branch management position that I didn't believe them when they were pretending to offer it to me. But yeah, from the description I was given, I was expecting something closer to like a branch manager at a bank, but not even close. So I've been continuing my job search, which hasn't really turned up much of anything. I applied with a local educational facility that needs reader grader evaluators for standardized tests, and I'm qualified if they contact me. So I really hope that they do because I could really use the money. One of my big holdups on everything is money. Like, I need money to pay for my job certifications I can't even really be an engineer until I get my certifications of many various kinds of things done. I've got to pass the FE exam before I can take an engineering job. And even then, I'm only an engineering intern. But it's a start. What else have I got going on? I have a couple of different projects that I have that are in various states of limbo. I've got the robot kit that I was working on, and it's on hold. I think I have my desk set up so that I'll be able to do some soldering, but I'm gonna wait until my mother goes back to work to do it, at the very least, because it's a very sensitive process that if you screw up, you can destroy the circuit. So I'm gonna wait until I don't have to worry about everyone and everything else, and I can just focus on that. It's only gonna be another week, and been throwing away weeks like they're nothing. I've also got that glider project that I've been working on, which I decided to try to use a different configuration than we used before. I had a glider project when I was in school. I did it with Jesse, and we used it's called a canard. It's where you put the horizontal tail on the front, and we did that because we believed it would help optimize our weight and minimize the amount of ballast that we're going to need. And it worked out fairly well. There were other things about the project that were a little iffy, but on the whole, it was a very fun project. It worked well, and I said to myself, I'm going to try to do this because I have all the materials already. All I really need is cardboard. You see the cardboard box, and a blade to cut it with that I already have. So I have the materials, and I have the time. The only thing I need to do that I'm not doing is my stupid work extension thing that I don't think I can do them from home. I don't have the resources I need here, and I can't get to where I do need them. Not with the regularity I need to get this shit done before it's due. I've got to get 2 papers done by the end of the month. I need to go to the library to get my references, and the whole thing is a mess. And the one day of the week when I could be going, I have to go to the flea market with my mother because I'm so desperate for money. So I'm just screwed. And I've been going to the flea market and helping my mother with that. She's finally starting to see that it's an enormous waste of time because we never sell anything. And she's accused me and my older brother for months of simply being bad salesmen, but there's nobody to sell to there. And now that she's going herself, she sees it. But the only bad thing about that is that working for my mother was my only source of income, so now I'm going to have nothing. And I was supposed to go to Wilmington with family to see. It was supposed to be a vacation, and my mother was paying for it. It was her idea to go originally, and who am I to say no to a free vacation? Free to make. And it was to Wilmington, where I have at least one friend, and possibly a couple others, but at least one really good friend from college. I thought I was going to be able to visit with her, but that trip got canceled because my older brother, with his dentist appointment, had some complications, and he's been referred to somebody else. Anyway, it's a big mess, a bunch of his personal business. The short of it is just that our vacation got canceled because of doctor visit stuff. So more medical stuff. It's all medicine. And I feel terrible even being annoyed by it. But I just need to get a job and get out. Because this being beholden to my family for everything all the time, I can't even go to the library where I need to go to do my schoolwork because of crap. So it's just, I gotta get out. I've been applying for any and every job I could possibly qualify for, and my mother doesn't get it. She doesn't get that I appreciate being allowed to live here, but I just can't keep doing it. Not like this. I guess I got spoiled being independent before, but I just gotta get out. So, that's how that's been going. I'm trying to do something. Doing my best to try to get by. I keep applying for jobs. Maybe something will hire me.